Afternoon. Apologize for being late.
Doug, what's the latest on Jason Peters' biceps injury?
Yeah, still gathering a few more tests, some more information. Actually, had a brief meeting this morning with the medical staff, but we still need to gather some more information to determine exactly where he's at.
What's the early indication based off the meeting that you had?
Early indication, I think. Again, I don't want to speculate too much, but it's positive, and we'll see. Kind of a day to day, and I just got to wait and make sure that all the information is accurate.
How do you think he was playing before he got hurt yesterday?
I thought he went into the game, on a short week. A lot of confidence, very positive. Of course, he was going against a great pass rusher in Vernon there, and I thought he did a nice job. Did a really nice job.
Carson showed off his ability to extend plays and buy some time. Was there ever a moment in his rehab where you kind of questioned if he'd be able to get back to that level so soon?
No.
Why was that?
You want me to follow up?
I wouldn't like that.
Okay. Well, it was a yes or no question. Just watching him rehab, watching him work, watching him, out on the field, and his determination to get back on the football field. There's a lot of strength in his lower body. Noticed it obviously. Not only you kind of noticed the lower body through the upper body by the way he's throwing the football, and so felt like his lower body strength was solid.
With Peters battling not only the bicep now, but the quad, and with your experience with Big V, would you consider just giving him some time to rest and get back to full health rather than playing him on injury?
I get what you're saying. Those are all things we'll consider. I think we got time. We got 10 days before we play again, and we'll see where all our guys are. All these injured guys are in a week or so. But right now, we're not going to make any of those determinations after this one game. Want to get through the weekend, get to next week, and see where everybody's at, coming up. But definitely, we'll have those conversations.
It looks like Carson. I think you just kind of alluded to Carson's arm strength. Looks like it's increased from last year. What does that extra kind of weaponry give him as far as being able to get the ball in tight windows and things like that?
It's just that. I mean, being able to be a little more pinpoint accurate, being able to stick the ball in some tight spots, and into maybe a contested throw where you can get the ball in there. And it's that throw he made for the first touchdown to Alshon is an example of throwing back across your body, making a heck of a throw. So those are all things that are showing up.
When did you first see that? At what point?
Well, again, I think through his rehab, and then watching him when he did get a chance to do the 7-on-7s in training camp. Is when those types of throws and the arm strength really began to show up, not only out on the field but on tape.
So how long has Lane Johnson had that high ankle sprain, and do you think it's affected his play?
Well, it came out of the week before, the Sunday before, so he was on a short week. So definitely, anytime you got an injury like that, it can affect you. But I tell you what, Lane battled through it. Tough kid. And it's a tribute to him. Really, it's a credit to him where he wants to be great, and great players can play through pain and injury, and he was one of them, and battled through it.
Sidney went down pretty early, and then he was, I think, first quarter. I think it was ruled out really quickly. What's he looking like going forward?
He's another one that we're going to continue to evaluate. Probably more of a week-to-week, basis right now with him with a hamstring.
Jordan Mailata was not active last night. How's he coming along in practice, and how far away do you think he is from being able to play in the game?
Question there. He's coming along really well. I tell you what, he continues to improve every day. Him and Matt Pryor both. They're getting they're getting every rep actually, on the look teams, and really doing a nice job, and it's encouraging to see him continue to grow and develop.
After Sidney's injury, what made you put Rasul back there as opposed to Hall or Sullivan, or I guess natural safeties or more experience in safety?
Yeah, well, one thing with Trey Sullivan, we just kind of brought him up, and so wanted to make sure that he was kind of caught up to speed, and then then it had worked Razul back there, a few times over DeAndre, and so going forward, we got to get everybody prepared, obviously, and I think one thing again goes back to our, the coaching staff, having everybody ready to go, and not only on defense but also on special teams.
If Sydney is week to week, is that a role Douglas can play going forward, or is it something where you're going to need a new slot cornerback and keep Maddox?
Well, yeah, I mean it's something that I know Jim and myself, Corey, Tim, we're going to take a look at it. Obviously now over the course of the next couple of days, and Razul is capable. Obviously, we've seen that, but we also have guys that now with Trey being active and DeAndre Hall and guys that we can begin to really coach up. With the amount of time we have before we go back on the practice field.
What did Wendell and Corey kind of show you last night? There's obviously a lot of talk about whether they can be the long-term solution at running back with Jay out. I mean, did they show you anything?
I'd tell you both these guys are determined runners. They run hard. They run aggressive. They're really good backs for us, and a lot of confidence in both of those guys. And what they do, very versatile, very not only can run, but you saw Corey on the screen pass and Wendell out of the backfield, and it's just two guys that really take their job serious and feel like they have to prove something every single day, and that's what you want out of your players, that they're out there proving themselves over and over, because it just makes them better and it makes us better as an offense. So been real encouraged by both those guys.
What do you make of the defensive struggles with stopping Saquon? Was it just seeing him up close for the first time, and obviously this is something that they'll have to get right, seeing him again this coming month and down the road as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special back now. You gotta understand, special talent. He's big, he's powerful, very elusive. His lateral movements are quick. His long speed is exceptional, as we found out. And listen, you can't stop your feet anytime you go against backs. It's like same thing with Zeke and Dallas. You can't stop your feet. You got to constantly be moving and somehow find a way to get these guys on the ground. And you even saw it later in the game. As we had him wrapped up a few times, how powerful he is. It's just it's a strain to get him on the ground. And it's a credit to him as an athlete.
Big B has obviously had to come in spot duty a lot during games. How much better is he when he has a full week of practice at a position and then kind of get coached up and ready for the game?
Oh, he's much better.
Can you expand on that a little bit for me?
Well, I mean, you're taking every rep, and you're seeing the front, you're seeing the defense, every single snap. And sorry about that. And it's with any player that gets an opportunity to play the position all week and take all those reps. It just makes you better and more prepared going into the game. But you saw last night the versatility. This is why we when we look for O linemen, Big V, his versatility, left and right tackle. Isaac bumps out for a couple plays to right tackle. Chance comes in the game. Wiz comes in the game. So that's what you got to have. You got to have that versatility, especially in your second tier guys. Your role players. Those guys need to be versatile, and Big V is one of those guys.
Alshon said that you guys plucked the second touchdown that he had from the Patriots. Who deserves credit for unearthing that one?
Well, I mean, we're always looking at plays and around the league and different things. You catch something on TV. I mean, listen, it fits into who we are. It fits into our sort of our DNA offensively. Called a very similar play towards the end of the game, to Alshon, another receiver screen, and he was able to drag a couple guys for a first down on a big third down play at the end, towards the end. So it's something that a lot of teams are doing it, plus inside the 5-yard line, and it might be one of his easier TD receptions all season.
Doug, what is it about Jalen's skill set that makes him so effective inside the 10 and deep down in there?
I think both he and Darby both. I mean, they're physical guys. If they can put hands and redirect routes, inside the 5 yards, I think is where they can really make make things hard for receivers, and then just being able to clamp on and it's a strain down there, obviously, in the red zone, and they gotta be on their guy, all over the field, and both guys have proven it over and over that down there, is critical, and they've both come up making plays already this season.
To get back to Carson.
Sorry. On the topic of the running backs, there's obviously a lot of chatter about looking for outside help, and you even alluded to it earlier in the week with Howie, always checking around. Yesterday after the game, Corey Clement told Les and maybe some other guys that he went to Howie and said, "You don't need to look for outside help," and Howie responded with, "Okay, prove it." So, what's your reaction to a running back wanting to stick with the guys here rather than have Howie look for somebody on the outside?
Well, let me start by saying, I didn't hear the conversation, so I'm not going to put words in people's mouths until I hear it from them. But listen, I have total confidence in our runners. Now, saying that, as you guys know, we constantly, and part of Howie's job and Joe Douglas and our personnel is constantly adding talent, if we can, to every position on the roster. So we're very encouraged, obviously, with the current situation. We love both guys, and really three guys with Josh, and then when we get Sproles back at some point. We that's what we like when we're there. But at the same time, are we constantly, trying to add value, add talent? Yeah, we're going to always do that and try to make our roster better.
To get back to Carson's first touchdown, but as he's throwing across his body there, what's going through your mind?
Oh no. I mean, you kind of see what's happening and how things are developing, and we always talk about kind of the cardinal rules of quarterback, especially out of the pocket, is you can't throw the ball late down the middle of the field because usually things get picked off or bad things happen. But whether or not he saw the penalty on Ertz, in the middle of the field, could have also said, hey, I got a free shot here. But you know what? That's who Carson is. That's his aggressiveness. That's what you love about him. And just two guys making a play, and it was a pretty special play.
You guys remember franchise quarterback a lot. I know you talk about the whole team, but is there an expectation with someone like Carson that when things are going against you, he'll pick up the play of the whole team?
Yeah, that's what you want. Especially out of that position, out of the quarterback position, and he definitely can bring that spark at any time, during the course of a game and really uplift your team. And, I think sometimes, a franchise-type player, a franchise quarterback in that way, yeah, I think it's a great thing to have, especially from one of your top leaders of your team.
We've seen a number of screen passes to Alshon this season already. From what I recall, not much last year. Was that because you just didn't want to put him in situations because of the shoulder?
No. It just comes down to wearing glasses and finding the screens on the call sheet.
Doug, no reason why for more?
No.
I guess my theory
Doug, I know it was a short week and you weren't around him a whole lot, but was there a different, tenor around your team before, during, and after this game?
I think the guys these last 2 weeks, having let a couple games slip through our hands, and this is what I love about the team is the players don't panic. The players are resilient. The players know. Players are smart. I mean, you guys are around them. They're smart. They understand what's going on. They see it. They hear it. They read about it. They see it on television. So, and then as coaches, we point stuff out. So at some point, when I talk about ownership, the guys have to take it upon themselves to make the necessary changes, to fix. We can't go down. Our behavior has to change, right? Our standards have to change just a little bit. They have to elevate just a little bit. And I can stand up here and talk to the team and until I'm blue in the face. But until they realize it, until they take ownership of it, until they sort of embrace it, it probably won't change. And what I saw last week was, and really the last couple of weeks, is they're saying and doing the right things. They're showing up to practice every day. They're not complaining about on a short week and we're outside, running around and getting ready for a Thursday night game. They're not making excuses for injury, and that's what a our culture has established. That's what a veteran sort of led team can establish, and they've embraced that, and they've risen to the challenge. And I think they had enough, and quite honestly, they rose to the occasion, last night and played well in all three phases.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, thanks.